And the DJI Neo is a drone that I've kind of got a little bit of interest in because it's a camera drone. Literally, it doesn't do what the Mavic would do, the Mavic Mini or the Mini 2 or literally any of the bigger drones will do. All it really is basically a follow me style camera drone with a few camera tricks as well. So you've got a few little built-in flight modes such as droney, circle, follow me, and tripod and all that kind of thing. And that's the whole point. I just wanted to make sure that this would do what I would want it to do, really, because if I'm filming, it should be able to record me and get rid of the noise from the rotors or the blades. So I'm just setting it up on the phone here because it uses a DJI Fly app, and it's also palm launched as well. So I'm just going to set this up, and then we'll go from there. So as usual, it's 2 presses to get the actual drone to set up. You probably heard that little beep there. You may not have. And I'm just going to connect up the DJI Neo on the app. You can fly it without the app, but I want to try and use it with the app. And as you can see, it's already doing the camera gimbal. Okay, it's not as good a gimbal that you'll find on the Mavic Pros and all that kind of thing, because it's a lot of the stuff that it does is in software. It'll do up and down motion, so when the drone's bouncing, it'll take out a little bit of the video that you'd see where a drone would normally bounce. It stabilizes, and the rest is done in software. Now, the drone's very light. It's incredibly light, and I'm amazed it flies the way it does. But this is really going to be my first proper flight, and I'm going to film myself and let you see the results in a second. Okay, so it's just connecting on the phone now. And once it's connected, you will see a view like this, and which seems to work really well. So the first option I'm going to do is I'm going to basically get the drone to hover, and then I'm going to hit the record button on here. So I'm going to use the microphone, and when you hear it, it should cut out all of the noise.
3. Unable to take off. Aircraft in motion. 3, 2, 1.
Now, one of the things you have to do, as you can see me on both cameras, hopefully, is use your phone as a microphone. It's got me in shot, so it should follow me around. And you can see it following me around quite well. And hopefully it's getting rid of the noise. Now, one of the things you have to do, as you can see me on both cameras, hopefully, is use your phone as a microphone. It's got me in shot, so it should follow me around. And you can see it following me around quite well. And hopefully it's getting rid of the noise. See, it's flying, and it's going to follow wherever I go. And if I turn my back to it, it's still got a lock on. And it still flies really, really, really well. So we come around here, and hopefully you should hear me on the mic as well. So I'm just going to bring it down to land. So now this is the whole point. I can actually walk towards something and then start talking. For example, if I hold it up here, I can start talking, and I can say, this is what I transport all my drones in. This van, which Brendan is now sitting on the back of. And I can walk you around an object like the van and just talk about the van and say basically what I need to tell you about it or whatever. And I can wander around. As long as I don't go too fast, it's fine. And also the drone doesn't seem to cut either. You see, so you should be able to see me standing by the back doors. If I want to move it in closer, you have to make sure that you're actually a little bit further down than you really are. And it works really, really well. I'm looking at the screen as well. And the video is very clear. So yeah, it works really well. Now, as I walk around, I can chat to you about anything. I can chat to you about the setup on the camera, basically how Austin's using a gimbal to keep it nice and straight on here, and he's just using the Sony tripod to keep the camera balanced. So everything that really works on this. So what do I think about this little DJI? Well, to be honest, it's really good. You've kind of got to treat it as basically a personal flying camera. That's probably it. If you want to do something that's a bit more advanced, as in, following something that's faster moving or anything like that, then this really isn't the drone for you. It does 16 miles an hour flat out, so it's not the fastest of things in the world. It does what it needs to do. Basically, I'm going to be using it via the phone or on its own most of the time. I don't need the controllers. I do have a set of controllers which will work with this, but that's not the point. I'm always carrying my phone, and I'm just put this in my pocket or a backpack, and I can use it when I need to film something. So that's the idea with this drone. It's not to replace any of my other drones. It's so I can do a bit of filming. So if I go back to follow, and then start the drone off again. So I'll make sure it says it's recording, and I'm going to start the drone off again. This is really what I would want this drone to be used for.
Textured environments. 3, 2, unable to take off, aircraft in motion.
And that's the other thing, you've got to keep it really steady before it will take off.
Unable to take off, aircraft in motion.
And this time it's not moving, so it is a little bit flaky.
1.
So now, this is the whole point. I can actually walk towards something and then start talking. For example, if I hold it up here, I can start talking, and I can say, this is what I transport all my drones in. This van, which Brendan's now sitting on the back of. And I can walk you around an object like the van and just talk about the van and say basically what I need to tell you about it or whatever. And I can wander around. As long as I don't go too fast, it's fine. And also the drone doesn't seem to cut either. You see, so you should be able to see me standing by the back doors. If I want to move it in closer, you have to make sure that you're actually a little bit further down than you really are. And it works really, really well. I'm looking at the screen as well. And the video is very clear. So yeah, it works really well. Now, as I walk around, I can chat to you about anything. I can chat to you about the setup on the camera, basically how Austin's using a gimbal to keep it nice and straight on here, and he's just using the Sony tripod to keep the camera balanced. So everything that really works on this. And then I can just hold my hand out and bring the drone down. Now the video quality, okay, I'm doing it on my camera with the mic, so you'll hear everything in the background, and also the mic on the drone here. Now, people have been complaining about the video quality. Now, if I come round and it'll follow me, I'm just checking on the screen. As I get into brighter light, it actually does all right. The sun is that direction, so it's to the back of the drone. And it doesn't do too bad. So as I come round again, it's doing a good job of tracking me. As I get into the dark areas, Well, of course, the sun's now causing problems. But that happens with every drone and every camera. So it's not something that you would really not expect to do. So yeah, it seems to work all right. As I walk towards here, back in the sunlight, you can see the shadows and shade. And to be honest, it's capturing the colours of the red on the van and the colours of this jacket surprisingly well, better than a lot of other cameras do. So I don't really have a problem with it. So yeah, I don't really have an issue with the quality of the video that this little drone puts out. I mean, even spinning it around and looking at it on the phone, the quality is really, really good. So I don't think that that's really a big issue. A lot of people made an issue out of the video quality, but I don't think that that's going to be a problem for maybe 99% of the people who are using this, because it's good enough. It's 4K. It's good enough. The resolution is good enough. The speed of 30 frames a second is good enough. If you want more, you can drop the resolution down if you want and have a faster frame rate. But in my mind, you don't need it. At the end of the day, this drone was bought as a drone to do what I've just done. Walk around objects, walk through places that you wouldn't normally fly, a bigger drone. And that's what it's all about. So yeah, so my opinion of this drone is it does what it says on the tin, and it works really, really well. I won't have a problem recommending this drone to anybody, but if you want a drone to fly, as in like a normal DJI Mavic, or Phantom, or Inspire, or something similar, or an Air, or even a Spark, then this probably isn't the drone for you. If you want something to follow you around on camera and do all of the kind of camera-y kind of things that you would need it to do, with decent audio which cuts out the propellers, then this is probably the drone you should be going for. So yeah, it's well worth the purchase, although batteries are hard to get hold of. But at the moment they're all on back order, so don't expect to get hold of multiple batteries at the moment because they're not available. They're all on back order. So I've got a couple on back order which will make this drone a much more useful item. So yeah, hope you enjoyed this.